Hi everyone, welcome to my second drum lesson video. The first video I made ended up running a little bit longer than I would have liked. I know not everyone wants to sit there staring at me sitting behind my drum set for 10 minutes. So I'm going to try to make these a little bit shorter starting now. Therefore, I'm only going to cover one thing for this video and we'll see how the shorter videos sort of play out. At the end of my first lesson, I taught you a pretty basic beat, and it was played on the quarter notes with the bass drum, the snare drum, and the hi-hat. And if you don't remember those guys, bass, snare, hi-hat. And that beat was as follows. Now remember, you keep your back straight, you keep your palms down, and you count the eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But with this beat, you're only playing on the quarter notes, the 1, 2, 3, 4. So what that sounds like, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So what we're going to do today is we're going to build on that beat, and we're going to add two things that are going to turn it into something a lot sweeter and a lot more professional sounding. We're going to end up with the beat that was the very first beat I ever learned back in 1996. It was taught to me by my dad, who was a drummer back in his day, got me started on the instrument. This beat appears in the song Walk, Don't Run by the Ventures, if you'd like a little bit of a reference. So the first thing that we're going to do is, instead of playing the quarter notes on the hi-hat, which if you remember that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're going to add those eighth notes in as well. And what I want you to make sure you're doing is keeping your palm down, your forearm level, and you keep your drumstick loose between your thumb and your index. Get that good fulcrum point like I talked about last time. That'll make it a lot easier, especially when you start increasing the tempo. These are things you want to start now. These are like the fundamentals. That's why I'm kind of obsessing over them. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then all we have to do is bring in the bass and the snare. 4 and 1 and. Now, if you need to play it slower, do it. Like I said, get a metronome. Make sure you're playing with a metronome. I don't feel like I stressed that enough last time. It'll really help you get a good sense of time. So we start with that. The next thing we need to do is just add one additional beat on the snare drum. So whereas before the bass and the snare were 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're just adding 1/8 note onto the snare after the 2. So instead of playing on the 2, you're playing the 2 and on the snare. So it becomes 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and. When you mix all that together, what you get is just so you have an idea where you're going, when you get that up to speed, it becomes. And when you get that basic beat down, you'll be able to play just like that. I'm kidding, of course. Sometimes I just can't help myself. I have to just go off and play stuff because I love my instrument, and I hope you love your instrument too. Once again, playing drums is so much fun. Learn it. Learn something. Learning is an amazing feeling. Peace.